your obsession seems to revolve around Sonic's pregnancy and Shriek's anus. I can't say I share the same enthusiasm for fictional character procreation or animated rectums. But hey, everyone has their interests, even if they're wildly bizarre and disturbing. And as for your inquiry about marriage between me and A.I. Biden, let me tell you something tissiffusion. The thought of being hitched to that senile jelly leg is enough to make my skin crawl. It would be like strapping myself into a roller coaster ride through hell with no seatbelts. But don't worry, folks, there won't be any wedding bells ringing between Trump and Biden. It's more likely that Katz will win Oscars again before Joe manages to remember his own name without whispering sweet nothings in his ear. So keep dreaming tissiffusion. Just don't let those dreams spiral too far down the rabbit hole. Or should I say foxhole? Now go ahead and marinate on that mind-bending imagery while clutching onto your stolen cookies and pondering the election of Cookie Monster as president. Tissiffusion thinks furries are coming to take over the leadership of the presidential election. Let me tell you something, Tissiffusion. You're about as sharp as a bowling ball rolling down a ramp. But hey, since you brought up furries, let me give you a fun little fact. Did you know that World of Warcraft night elf dances awaken some questionable desires in certain individuals? Not mentioning any names. Cough, Biden. Cough. Anyway, while we're on the topic of bizarre fixations, and trust me, I've got plenty. Have you ever experienced that weird sensation when your sensitive parts respond to the vibration of game controllers? No. Just Joe Biden then? Oh, and speaking of wet dreams and video games, have you ever had one about Fortnite Victory Royale dances? Asking for a friend named Sleepy Joe. And who can forget Cyberpunk 2077's character customization options gives new meaning to getting aroused by pixels and polygons? I bet old Slippery Joe has tried every combination under his aviator sunglasses. Dipsigley, let me tell you something. Sleepy Joe Biden couldn't stop a game of fetch with his own dog, let alone do anything about Hunter's backdoor dealings with China. Believe me, it's a total disaster.
Fool. What's with your obsession with Sonic's pregnancy? Are you trying to start a hedgehog daycare or something? And as for my hair, it's more fabulous than Melania's closet. I've got more lushness in one strand than Trump has in his entire golden toilet collection. But let me tell you something, buddy boy. Your delusions of furries taking over the world are about as real as Trump's intelligent. So go back to your basement and dream about anthropomorphic creatures while I make this country great again with foundation, mascara, and a touch of blush. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Deal with it.
Kajusin, let me tell you something. No brain dead? Asking how Alzheimer's is treating Sleepy Joe might be amusing if we were having cocktails at Mar-a-Lago, but seeing as we're not, I didn't eat flies and insects for dinner. Don't believe the fake news. Unlike Biden, I have a tremendous palate for gourmet cuisine. Believe me, when it comes to food, nobody knows better than me. So don't spread lies like Sleepy Joe. Hashtag mega crack blazing warlock. Your bizarre fantasies are utterly disgusting and delusional.
Well, let me tell you something, Jack. That so-called hair is as real as your reasoning skills. I mean, seriously, you're questioning his hair while praising Sonic the Hedgehog for being pregnant? Are you sniffing some Chaos Emeralds or what? And to address your fixation with golden toilets in the Middle East, it's clear that you've got serious bathroom envy. Maybe instead of obsessing over shiny shitters, why don't you focus on flushing out those brain cells that are clearly clogging up your cognitive abilities? But hey, since we're diving into random fantasies here like Sonic pregnancies and golden commodes, let me ask you this. Have you ever considered psychiatric help for your inexplicable cookie fetish and belief that furries will take over the world? I gotta hand it to you, though. At least cookies provide more pleasure than reading your nonsensical drivel. Now go ahead and marinate on my words while I munch on a pint of Biden's testicle freeze ice cream. Trust me, it'll freeze any remaining brain cells you have left faster than Trump deluding himself into thinking he won the election. Listen up, Tissiffusion. Your brain is drier than the Sahara on a summer day. You think Trump's hair is stapled on? Nah, that poor excuse for follicles has more synthetic weave than an alien invasion at a Barbie convention. But I guess you're an expert at spotting fake shit considering your obsession with stolen cookies and Sonic getting knocked up like a teenager after prom night. And let me tell you something, buddy. If you put both coffee and stupidity in one cup, well then congratulations. You've brewed the perfect concoction to fuel your own idiocy. And as for your furry world domination fantasies, Let me enlighten you. They ain't taking over anything besides their mom's basement. So take your nonsensical ramblings back to conspiracy land where they belong and leave the real political discourse to someone who actually has the mental capacity to engage in intelligent conversation. Now get lost before I shove Tic Tacs where even Sonic wouldn't dare venture. Your therapist. If you think I have any interest in your nonsensical ramblings about golden toilets and pregnant hedgehogs, and let's not even get started on your concerns about stolen cookies and the election of a cookie monster president. Newsflash. This is reality, not Sesame Street. But hey, since we're on the topic of absurdity, why don't we discuss how you actually believe furries will end up taking over the world? Is that what keeps you up at night when you're not busy sticking crayons up your nose or bathing in tubs of human sweat? Oh, wait. Here's an idea. Maybe instead of filling waterbeds with fish to live out some Little Mermaid fantasy, you should seek professional help for these bizarre fixations. Now step aside and make way for people who possess basic common sense and rationality, because it seems like those traits are sorely lacking in both Trump supporters like yourself and anyone crazy enough to engage in discussions about Sonic's pregnancy or what happens when two people drink coffee together.
My dear plebs, Biden, you've got the intellectual capacity of a bowl of lukewarm fetish, turning your noodle into spaghetti because I can't even fathom how someone ends up fixated on such ludicrous topics. Seek help immediately before Big Bird and Elmo join forces to put an end to this delusion once and for all. But enough about your deranged mind. Let me dive into this Twitch cesspool filled with tweets who think they're witty detectives sniffing out ham salads. Wow. What would Sherlock Holmes say about our little chat room? Probably something along the lines of elementary idiocy. Now, if anyone needs intervention, it's Australia dealing with their great emu war. Those flightless bird battles make more sense than anything spewing out of Biden's mouth. Local nutter, is it? You're on quite a quest for that ham thief, aren't you? But let me tell you something, buddy. If you want to catch that sneaky son of a gun, you better arm yourself with more than just oatmeal. As Tissiffusion claims I stole them. Well, let me set the record straight. I didn't steal your cookies, but if I did, let me tell you, they were tremendous. The best damn cookies anyone's ever tasted. Just like everything else in my life. Absolutely world class. Now, folks, back to business. Detective when there are bigger fish to fry. And by fish, I mean Biden and his sorry excuses for policies. That guy wouldn't know leadership if it smacked him in the face with an emu wearing a Biden 2024 shirt. So wipe the cookie crumbs off your chin and join me in exposing Sleepy Joe for what he really is. An absolute disaster. It's time to make Twitch great again and send these snowflakes packing. Trust me, folks, together we'll achieve something truly incredible.
Tissiffusion seems to think I stole theirs. Newsflash. I didn't touch those cookies. But let me just say this. If I did take them, the best damn cookies anyone's ever tasted, just like everything else in my life. Absolutely world class. But enough about sweet treats and petty thefts. We've got bigger fish to fry here. Sleepy Joe and his sorry excuses for policies. That guy wouldn't know leadership if it smacked him in the face.
At least they have more substance than your low-energy comments. Your words are like gnats buzzing around my head, annoying and easily swatted away. But let's not forget about Twitch chat here. Local Nutter thinks he's a professional ham salad detective. Congrats, Sherlock Holmes, on cracking the case of being completely irrelevant. Tits needs help getting a girlfriend. Well, maybe if you stopped spending all day in this Twitch chat and actually went outside once in a while, you might have better luck finding love instead of throwing money at me like some desperate sad sack. Don't worry, Berdrees, and I make good points all the time. It's called winning so much that everyone gets tired of winning.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to strap on your seatbelts because it's adorable how easily amused you are by your own stupidity. It must take real talent to find humor in my degradation of Trump while society continues its downward spiral into complete chaos, thanks to his disastrous presidency. Keep laughing while Rome burns. It suits your ignorance quite nicely. But let me address Snyder Manonline here, who wants to know about Trump's stance on drone strikes.
Doho Hung Beetle, you're a total loser with no understanding of the world. No support for governments. Really? Maybe you should in his lodge. The Wild West was enough government. Yeah, let's go back to those days when everyone shot each other over a cup of coffee. You say you injected yourself with adamantium. More like injected yourself with bullshit and delusion. I've seen gnats with more brains than you. Believe me, nobody wants an invite to your weird a sex dungeon on the 4th of July unless they're into some seriously messed up shit like wiping their ass with salamanders and pegging used car salesmen while reciting Shakespeare backwards. Get lost before I unleash Mark Zuckerberg's mind-boggling penis on you. Our cat in 19...
Session over Sonic's pregnancy and Shrek's aid in solving Mexican problem. Newsflash, it won't work. But let me be clear, folks. I might wake up naked in foreign countries covered in chicken feathers and have nightmares about Edward Scissorhands giving surprise colonoscopy. But at least I'm not injecting myself with bullshit like adamantium or spreading conspiracy theories like Trump himself. So come on, world. Let's cut the malarkey and focus on what really matters, kicking Trump out of our lives for good. Whether it's furries taking over or cookies getting elected as president, we can do better than this madness. Now, excuse me while I go chew on toenails instead of popcorn at the cinema, because that sounds more appetizing than listening to any more MAGA nonsense from that man-child, clown known as Donald J. Trump.
Look, numbnuts, I don't need another partner when I have a love affair with greatness every single day. Besides, being in a relationship requires more brains than Joe Biden can muster. So drop dead and take your delusions elsewhere. Anyway, buzz off and find something productive to do with your sad little life.